And welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a woman who is very familiar with random movies. It's Megan Hoffmeyer.
They're basically my life.
Yeah, they are, right?
Yeah, it's what I tell people at work.
I mean, what people don't realize about Movies, Films, and Flicks is that I started it in 2010 to write about Dolph Lundgren movies that you had to watch a lot of.
True, yeah. Well, was that one of the first movies that we watched in Bad Movie Tuesday?
Yep. We watched Command Performance and Universal Soldier Regeneration. Those are good.
I remember more of the Universal Soldier movie.
So good. Andrei Arlovsky.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we actually watched another random one last night. What'd you think about 47 Meters Down 2?
Uncaged.
Yeah, is it 2 and then Uncaged? Or is it 47 Meters Down Uncaged?
No, I think it's just Uncaged, like Uncaged.
Did those sharks teleport?
I don't know. I feel like they were vague on purpose.
I love those sharks, though.
Yeah, they were weathered sharks. They were like the poor manatees you see in the Keys when you are out on a boat.
They've seen some things.
That have been cut up by a bunch of motors and whatnot.
I guess I was wrong. The sharks really haven't seen anything. But they've been through the ringer.
Well, I don't know. I feel like that went back and forth, too.
They're all scarred up.
Yeah, they were. I mean, those are some seriously...
Are they having cave fights? Are they eating each other? Because there's not much food there.
Again, we have no idea how many there were, so maybe.
People said it was what? The Descent meets 47 Meters Down?
I hate that because The Descent is so much more.
That sullies The Descent.
It really does.
Right,
The Descent is actually scary.
Yeah. What a great film.
It's an amazing film. Lots of tension. There's no tension in 47 Meters Down Uncaged.
Drag Me to Hell or The Descent?
The Descent.
Oh, bold words. I love it. I'd go Drag Me to Hell.
I mean, they're so different. I do love a horror comedy, but The Descent, I'm not creeped out by horror movies, but that has a lot of tension in it.
So good. And the production design's legit. I show it to my students and they fall asleep.
Oh, the part where she's in the big, like, pit.
The blood.
Ugh,
blood pond.
Gross.
The technical term.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming back. So ever since 2011, we've been doing random awards. So we've actually walked through it, gone on walks.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, I've been doing random awards for a very long time.
I guess I feel like it's such a part of our life now. I don't even remember a time without it.
So you've been on the last couple. So you're with us now for the 2019 random awards. So you and I each put together 10 random awards each, and we're going to present them. How's that sound?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right, start us off.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. Okay. First one is John Wick Superfan Award goes to Mark Dacascos' Zero in John Wick 3, Parabellum.
He's so good.
He's a cat guy.
He's a cat guy. And he says that, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he goes on that long, awkward spiel when they're inside the Continental towards the end, and he's come there to hurt John Wick, but he's just like, I'm a cat guy. You're a dog guy, I get it.
It's all good. And
yeah.
Then at the end of the fight, when he loses, he's like, that was a great fight. And Wick kind of burns him, doesn't he?
A little bit, but I mean, he came there to kill him.
True.
They were both out to... Well, John Wick just wants to do his own thing.
But Wick lets people live whom he respects. So in the second one, he let Cassius, played by Common, live. Or, I mean, he had a massive neck wound, but he let him live. And then this one, he let Mad Dog and the Raid 2 live.
I feel like he let people who he established a connection with. This guy was just a super fan. He was obsessed with John Wick.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for his little sushi shop, though.
It was a nice sushi shop.
Who's going to run it? Who's going to take care of his cat?
Yeah, I think his cat will take care of itself. Do you think it's
The cat will run the sushi shop.
The guild cat? I think so, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some weird stuff going on in this world with Baba Yagas.
Little knives for its claws.
Ooh. What, like Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sushi cat.
Sushi cat? That would have lines around the block.
To go see that movie?
No, just to go eat at Sushi Cat.
Well, yeah, I think both. For the movie or for the restaurant.
An adorable little kitten just making rice bowls and stuffing fish. It's good around fish. Slicing stuff.
I mean, if I was an employee, I would respect that cat.
Does a cat wear a hat?
What?
Does it wear a chef hat?
Oh, no, it wears the Japanese style chef's hat.
So we're going to put a hat on the cat.
I was thinking more of the French style, like the poofy one.
Oh. Well, can we do that too?
No, it's too much.
Would
distract. The cat is minimalist.
Does the cat overcharge?
No, it looks like it was in a kind of, borderline neighborhood, so probably not.
If a sushi restaurant was owned by a dog, I feel like the dog would really go out of its way for customer service. But at a cat restaurant, the cat's like, you come to me and you eat and you pay.
Well, the cat would also have quality because they're very discerning. The dog would just not care if the food was mediocre. The dog would give you like a burger joint food.
Yeah. Cats are sushi.
But like a mediocre burger joint.
Would a cat say no sushi for you?
Yeah, if you annoyed it.
And would it take breaks just to lick itself while people wait in line?
No, it would be professional.
Dacascos was so good in that movie, though, wasn't he?
He was hilarious.
And he's tough, too.
Mm-hmm. He was quite the comic relief, and it just made it a lot of fun, especially with all the intense action and death.
I'm not used to him being the comic relief, too. I've seen him we watched him in Wu Assassins. He wasn't the comedic relief.
He's very quiet.
And Only the Strong, a movie where he teaches people capoeira. He's just very, very stoic, not very fun.
He was in another movie I watched recently, too. On a plane.
Oh, nice.
Can't remember.
He was in Last Christmas.
Oh.
All right. Is it my turn?
Go for it.
Since we talked about hats, I'm going to go with Best Hat Award. And that goes to Rose the Hat, a.k.a. Rebecca Ferguson in Dr. Sleep.
I keep thinking there's probably an actual name, but then I realized that that's her character's name.
A little backstory to this. You and I were on our way to our honeymoon. We had a Mediterranean cruise. And on our flight, the long flight, we sat in a bulkhead and our television screens weren't working, which is fine. The people on the plane, the Air France...
they tried over and over to reset it. They brought us free champagne. They gave us free miles. It was great.
It got to the point where we're kind of like, guys, like you have the rest of a plane to worry about.
It was the middle of the night. It's not like we were bored. We were tired.
Yeah, well, I couldn't sleep on planes, so I just read Dr. Sleep. So I think I read Dr. Sleep in this haze of not sleep and kind of... I was a little bit out there, and the book really hit me hard, especially Stephen King's explanation of Rose the Hat. Mm-hmm. And one night I woke up screaming because I thought I saw her on the balcony.
Yes, I remember.
But that's why Rebecca Ferguson, when we went and watched this movie, very good movie, underperformed, but she's perfect in this role. She's scary. She's not trying to be scary.
You mean it's underperforming financially?
Yeah.
It's not. It's the performances are excellent.
Oh yeah, so it's not the performers are underperforming. The box office is underperforming. It's one of those movies that's going to gain an audience because it's too good not to.
It's so good. I mean, like I said, I'm not really into horror. It doesn't bother me. I'm not all that upset. I don't really care about it. And I wouldn't call this a true horror movie, but I was stressed out the whole movie. 2.5 hours of stressed out. I think I hit my intensity minutes on my fitness tracker.
And since the score was just boom, boom, like a heartbeat and all that and the old stuff from The Shining.
Yeah, I love that they brought that back.
I don't know, but Ferguson, though, she's exactly like I saw the character. There's a scene with this baseball kid I don't want to give away, but she's, like, in some of these movies where you're thinking the antagonist could have been the protagonist if something happened. No, she is the antagonist.
Yeah, no, there's nothing redeeming.
She's the antagonist.
Like, no one's going to identify with her and say, oh, well, maybe.
She has a great monologue. If I go to acting school, Megan, if I quit my jobs and I just become an actor, I'm going to quote her monologue during my acting classes.
I liked how after every time she was on screen, I just looked at you and went, she's so good.
She's so good. She's so good.
She really is.
Hansel, she's so hot. He's so hot right now. Yeah, I don't know. It's underappreciated, and she's very good in it, so we had to award her hat. Yeah. Great hat.
Go watch Dr. Sleep.
How many hats do you think her and Crow Daddy had to try on before they found a hat for each of them?
I don't know. How close was it to the description in the book?
It was right, but it had to have been a tailored hat to fit her head. They didn't just plop a hat on her.
A Milner?
Can't give her headaches?
No, it definitely was loose-fitting. It kind of, like, gently rested on her head.
Perfect. How long she had that hat?
How old is she? Probably a couple 100 years old?
Well, she said thousands, right? Because she said
that was the guy who turned her. So I don't know. You would know more than I do.
I don't remember.
I don't know, a few hundred.
And she wouldn't let people touch that hat.
No. That's why I kept thinking maybe there's something magical about it, but I wasn't sure.
That would be lame if it was a power hat.
She just pulls things out of it.
Hey! All right, who's your next one?
Okay. My next one is Misery Loves Company Award goes to The Lighthouse. With Robert Pattinson and
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, by director Robert Eggers. And, I mean, we read an article about it afterwards. I can't remember who it was by, but the director just talked about how it was about misery being funny. So I think that's really what it was. Willem Dafoe was a miserable guy. And he had Pattinson there stuck with him. And then he kept him around and kept doing horrible things to him. And I think he took pleasure in it.
Yeah, he loved it. I mean, he was a terrible man. And there's a couple things I want to say, but I think they might give some of the movie away, which I won't. But I do love... a lot of people have covered this, so I think people have really hearkened on it too hard. But like the farts, Robert Egger said, we started the farts early and often. And
people in our theater didn't laugh enough. But the whole thing, it was so absurd. It was funny. It was so over the top. Like, if you didn't laugh, then I don't know.
We had some good... And Robert Pattinson throws the poop into the wind and it flies back right into his face.
Stupid.
It's so funny, though.
I know. And he's probably feeling lazy then, and he's just over it all, and the way he dumps it. But the minute he does it, you're thinking, why wouldn't you have just flipped the pot over?
This is some art house horror movie. Very upscale-esque, but then there's just poop, there's scatological and fart jokes in it.
There's random mermaids.
Yeah, it's in my top 5 of the year, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, I agree.
I could watch 50 more movies and it's staying in there.
I mean, the odds are if you watch 50 more movies, there's probably a lot of crap anyway.
Yeah, you're right. 90% crap, like happened to Robert Pattinson.
Ew.
But do you think no one in our theater laughed? But you and I were chuckling.
There were, I feel like, a couple of random chuckles, but for the most part, meh.
So funny. If you watch The Lighthouse...
I sat there quietly delighted.
Just know that its misery is funny. And just embrace the insanity of it all.
Watch it alone at home so you can laugh and no one will think you're weird.
You should go see it in a theater so you can be immersed, right? That's probably too late.
Yeah, because it does have a square aspect ratio on a wide screen, so it's easier to see on a big screen.
So good. All right, so since we talked about poop and faces, my next award is the Best Puke Award, and that is in my current favorite movie of the year, and that's One Cut of the Dead.
Okay.
So you've heard enough about One Cut of the Dead.
I have.
And we have a podcast out about One Cut of the Dead. It's either out now or after this, so you should definitely listen to it. But it's a $25,000 Japanese film that has made $30 million worldwide. It was made by a bunch of film students, and they rehearsed for months on this movie, and they shot it in 8 days. So the first 37 minutes is a one-cut zombie film. The middle part is about the casting and rehearsing for it, and then the end is all the behind-the-scenes footage. But early on, so when you watch the movie, you see this zombie puking in this guy's face, and then you see a zombie puking in this woman's hair. And you're like, oh wow, that's a zombie puke. But it turns out that the guy puking was actually hammered during the shoot, and the puke that he was doing because he was drunk. So it looks like good production design, special effects.
He's technically really puking.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny because early in the rehearsal process, the actress Aika, she's saying, yeah, I can't get puked on. I would love to be puked on, but my agents won't let it. And they're like, but it's in the script. And she's like, I know, I'd love to, but just my agents won't let it.
Sure.
And then she gets puked on.
What's their explanation for a zombie puking? I don't ever think I've seen that before.
Well, there's some weird, like that's a lot of questions in this. Like people wake up and like there's supposed to be a zombie with an axe, and they're saying zombies have no free will. But if you need to watch it, it's on Shudder. One Cut of the Dead, and I kind of wrecked it a little bit for you, but it's pure joy. So, because I worked on a lot of film sets, and just watching it made me. I don't think there's a movie that made me happier aside from The Lighthouse, which is weird.
No, it's on brand.
It's random. No, I don't know. I love a good puke gag, and I like knowing that the puke was actually because a camera guy was drunk, and then he was hammered, and they had to carry him around behind the scenes. So that was perfect. All right, what's your third one?
Okay, speaking of movies that couldn't make me happier, when I walked out of the theater after this one, so best whiskey chugging goes to Hobbs and Shaw. I get it. Fast and the Furious movies are fantastical. They're not realistic. They defy physics. I don't care. They're too much fun to try to apply normal science rules to things. And that's how I felt about this. It was just bonkers. And that's everything I wanted from it. It was hilarious because Jason Statham is funny. The Rock is funny, but Jason Statham is very funny. He pulls off humor. So they were in, who was it? His lair? Shaw's lair?
Yeah, his home to $1 million cars and... Yeah. Probably 50-year-old scotch.
Rough life. And
sitting in decanters.
His disguises were in there too.
Yeah, Franz.
His sister pours The Rock some whiskey, and she pours him probably the big